Whenever there's a big box office hit, you can bet exploitation filmmakers will try to ride that trend. They do so like riding things. Thanks to Easy Rider, we got the Cycle Vixens, which I talked about some time ago. Thanks to Jaws, we got all kinds of movies like Piranha and Grizzly. Thanks to Drive-In Theater with Joe Bob Briggs, we got exploitation reviews. You get the idea. Well, in the 1960s, one of the biggest box office draws was James Bond. And so, naturally, we got a number of films in that sexy secret agent style. And how would an exploitation filmmaker improve upon James Bond? Well, write the story in such a way that it concentrates on those lovely Bond gals and make one of those Bond gals a Playboy model. Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at Deadlier Than the Male from 1967. This film isn't quite as trashy as the films I normally talk about, but it still counts as an exploitation film, was trying to ride that trend, Bond, and was fairly low budget at under $2 million. Compare that to the Bond film of the same year, You Only Live Twice, which had a budget of about $9.5 million. That's a big difference. Quentin Tarantino has said that this film is one of his all-time favorites and might have, in a roundabout subliminal way, influenced a scene in Reservoir Dogs, which I'll talk about later. So let's check it out. We open on an airplane.
It's only a model. Shh.
Yeah, but the more important model here is the lovely Elke Sommer. She serves an important-looking man a cigar, and smoking kills. She then tells the pilot that the man would like to fly low over the island. They comply, she sets a bomb, and then jumps out. Heiße Katzen, hot cats, as it's known here in Germany. But you might be wondering, if she was going to blow up the plane anyway, why bother with all that cigar business? Well, 3 things. 1, it allowed her to call the pilots with flying instructions without making the important man suspicious. 2, she's a thorough professional. And 3, that cigar gun is pretty cool. So Ilka splashes down and is picked up by the equally lovely Sylva Koscina. Wow.
She gives me a very strange, very new elation.
And our gals are off through the credits. Now that is a cold open. Credits done, they exit the water in their bikinis and...
Okay. Oh, poor Mr. Wingard.
This is something of a role reversal for these kinds of films. The ladies speared him. And considering the current state of YouTube, I might not have been able to show you much of that scene. It's getting pretty tame around here. But of course, we don't have to stay here. You can now support the channel on Patreon and get access to spicy versions of my reviews. Link is in the description. So if you're keeping track at home, we've already had 2 lovely ladies kill 2 men in pretty fun ways. This movie is shaping up to be pretty awesome. Let's meet the hero. This is Richard Johnson. Sometimes the universe aligns and gives us an actor with the perfect name. Here he's playing Hugh Bulldog Drummond. This character, by the way, was not invented for the movies, but comes from a series of novels dating back to the 1920s. So he actually predates Bond by 30 years or so. He's not a spy and he doesn't have a license to kill. In this movie, he's an insurance claim investigator, which is just as sexy.
Oh, sure.
His company was the one that insured the plane that blew up. And the man who got speared was a friend of his who might have known the man in the plane was at risk, so Hugh is tasked with investigating the whole nasty business. The company also had some related business with an oil company. They had a contract with someone such that if the man in the plane stopped opposing the merger, they would pay that someone £1 million. Well, he no longer opposes, but there is a discussion about whether or not this was an act of God and if that qualifies as fulfilling the contract, and the board is kind of split. Some board members say yes, some say no, and oh, look who represents the person they have a contract with, one of our assassins. Well, the chief opponent of paying out the £1 million is about to have his own act of God. Our assassin is waiting for him at home, and that hot cat has claws. She and her partner take care of him.
Bye-bye, Mr. Breachnoth.
Well, I have had men fall for me before, but never like this.
So he won't oppose paying out that £1,000,000 now, and I'm starting to detect a pattern. Before too long, our assassin gals learn about Hugh, and since he might stand in their way, he is now a target. Sylva, here she plays Penelope, delivers a package to his apartment. He isn't there, but his nephew and date are. His package is a box of cigars, and his date wants one. And of course, the cigar is what we expect it to be. Luckily, our couples start, coupling before the fuse is lit. So, Hugh and his nephew are now on the assassin's radar, and that's going to lead to this torture scene. This scene, by the way, is Quentin Tarantino's earliest film memory, and may have, in a roundabout kind of way, inspired that Reservoir Dogs scene with the ear. He didn't realize where this scene had come from until much later when he bought a print of the film, and it has since become one of his favorite movies. It is also quickly becoming one of my favorite movies, and I don't want to spoil too much, so let's talk some highlights. This movie is bright and colorful and sexy and fun, and more important than all of that stuff, it's also funny. I love the assassin gals and the fun quips they make when they off a target, but also their banter amongst themselves.
You always did have the morals of an alley cat, Penelope.
Just because I like mine.
No, dear. You like anything, just as long as it isn't yours.
Our hero, Hugh, is also great. He's good looking and has enough physicality and charm to pull the role off. He would have made a pretty decent Bond himself. And the movie has this kind of self-awareness that I really appreciate. The Bond films that this movie is aping are ridiculous, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I like the Bond films, partly because of their ridiculousness, but they are silly. I mean, the gadgets and the comic book villains and the quips, you can't take them seriously, and they play it mostly straight, which is a lot of fun. And in this movie near the end, our hero finds himself in the lair of the big bad, who I won't show you, by the way. We don't do spoilers here. And in this lair with the mute bodyguard and the female assassins of various races, he instantly recognizes it for what it is. Comical.
It is rather comical, isn't it?
What is it?
I mean, the whole thing. The girls, the castle, Fu Manchu over there. Even you, I suppose.
And it's doubly fun that he recognized it as a comical situation even before the big bad shows him his giant mechanical chess set. I wonder if J.K. Rowling is a fan of this movie as well. So, and finally, this film really has aged better than many of the early Bond films. And again, I like the Bond films from this era, but their casual sexism can rub some people the wrong way after a while. My wife, for example, has grown tired of Bond for this reason, but this film she enjoyed all the way through and was an instant fan. But beyond all that, the film's not perfect. Like an assassin dropping her dress so her target drops his guard, this film has some shortcomings. Well, I like this movie quite a bit, and it does what it wanted to do quite well. Would I have appreciated more assassin gal killings? Well, yeah, sure. And would I have appreciated that Playboy model nude in a pool recreating her Playboy pictorial? Well, yeah, of course.